Welcome to Roadmap, how to take 3 listings a week until you're ready for more. Each week we interview a powerful agent, taking lots of listings each month, and we have an exciting guest today. Today is the Rapid Fire Strategy Show. We encourage you to take notes and apply as much of their knowledge as quickly as you can, and then use the copycat principle. Before I introduce our guest today, I want to remind everyone that we are also simulcasting the show on the private Lead Gen group on Facebook. Lead Gen has 50,382 members, so we have a large audience there today as well. We will be pausing for a commercial message during the show as a thank you to the Lead Gen folks. Let's welcome our guest today from long way away, Greater Cincinnati, Ohio, Sarah Close. Welcome back, Sarah.
Thanks for having me.
And she's been here as a host two or three other occasions.
Yeah, a little more comfortable in that one.
Yeah, and she's here as a guest this time. I mean, she sells a lot of real estate, and this is the Rapid Fire Strategy Show. So we're going to work with the topics on everybody out there, how to take 2 more listings a month. We're going to give you some rapid fire strategies so that you take 2 more listings this month, next month, and next month, and next month, based on the ideas from this show. So Sarah, you sell a lot of houses. I mean, you've been selling a lot of real 12, 15 homes a month for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Long
26 years in the business.
And you call people
Every day.
You do, and you're focused.
Have to be focused.
And you own all these market centers and have 500-600 agents as well. So really, your real estate business is kind of a part-time job.
It is a part-time job. I am, as you know, I'm a part of a team, and that is, at least for where I am right now with my career, that is what enables me to stay in production.
Right.
Just having the right kind of a structure around me of other people that are also prospecting and with a listing focus to their business.
And for many years, it was just you, and then you and a buyer agent.
Exactly.
Because that's, if you're gonna build something, you have to have somebody else take those buyers out.
That's right. And I did that out of order. I hired the buyer agent first and not the administrative support first. So I had to learn the hard way. So it's taken me a little longer than most people. Yeah. Maybe it's the hair. I don't know. We started off just me, and then buyer agent ultimately got into the understanding the correct way to build a team organization and added the leverage that we need. And now we're kind of my partner calls it the collective success model.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we're working through a group of agents, getting together every morning to lead generate and go out and kill it.
Awesome.
Fun.
So you're really running
our co-host from San Diego, Carley Hathaway, CarleyHathaway.com. So, and we're always, as many of you get to see her on most of the shows. So she's here, and between the 3 of us, because Carley makes calls every day, she calls
every day
for sale owners and calls around listings and sales. Has been in the business a good while, but are newer to the emphasis on the listing side.
Between
the 3 of us, we've got a lot of great ideas that I think will really help.
Yeah.
Nice difference. So,
and I think, Sarah, you were saying that, you have this huge team and, you have buyer's agents and things like that. And I think it's really important that we prove that you have to run it like a real business. Just because we're not going in and clocking out for lunch doesn't mean we can just go with the flow and, work however we want to work. You have to run it like a business, right? You start every morning. What time do you usually get started?
Several of our salespeople are in at 8. We have an operations meeting at 8:30. We have a scripts and role play at 8:45, and then we're on the phones by 9.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And having that structure is so key and so important in our business.
It's critical.
Yeah, you're your own boss.
Yeah, or else you'd be in the 4th hour of Good Morning America without even noticing.
And when you were early on, you had 2 baby girls, and you had to be your own boss, and you had to be there every morning calling expireds and dispos and whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
and I think getting started in the morning, I think it's so important to role play. I don't know if you role play still, Sarah, but I think for me, getting started at 7:15 on a role play call every morning with different people. It's so helpful because it just kind of cracks the ice, It
really does. And it kind of shakes the dust off a little bit. And it sounds silly, but get your voice working, kind of get your energy going. And, we're standing when we do this. And so it's just gets all the chi going in the right way. So.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah, because if you practice on your first contact.
Right.
Could hurt you.
It does.
Every single person that
builds up the resiliency. It builds up the resiliency so that when you get some initial rejection, we're just going to go back to the same agent. Then you're ready. If you don't role play, you don't practice, you don't get warmed up.
Right.
Yeah. And
you
role
might say,
playing.
have a great day, bye-bye, and then you've lost a good one.
Right.
Yeah. And every single person that calls, that could be a huge commission for you. You don't want to blow it.
Absolutely.
Can we talk about, while we're talking about that early morning routine and getting that going, is because in our industry, and I don't see it in any other industry, real estate people gradually move to second shift.
Right.
What happens is they get a contract, and then it has a midnight deadline, and they're up till 1 a.m, and they get it all figured out, and they go to bed and they wake up at 10, and then they return they check their email, have some coffee, and get to the office at noon.
Yeah.
And they start working from,
Wonderful.
Yeah, they start working in the afternoons and late evenings.
Sure.
And the morning is like, you go to a typical real estate office. You go to a typical real estate. Folks, go to your normal real estate office at 8 a.m. Who's there?
A bowling ball down the aisle.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And Ren,
for no reason.
Yeah. So not only you got to do those calls in the morning, right? Get on the phones by 8 a.m., call the fresh expireds, call neighborhoods. But Ren, like you were saying, it has to be consistent throughout the year,
right?
No matter how many things you have pending,
Okay. So there's the good news. There is the good news, right? It is. And that is the great news. In order to make the consistency, you have to look at this number. 230 cameras over here. 230. That's the number of days. If you're a listing agent, that's the number of days you have to work. Because you're working 5 days a week, not 7. You work 5 days a week. You take 6-8 weeks vacation or events or seminars, a combination of things, 6 to 8 weeks. Outside of that, now you're down to 230 out of 365 days. That's an easy commitment if you're doing this Monday through Friday.
Yeah, right. Definitely. And then also, in addition to that, having the consistency, I think having an accountability partner or 2 or 3 or 5 is really helpful, correct? Absolutely. Do you guys have accountability partners?
Well, in my organization, it's largely the team being accountable, to each other.
Yeah, you got it. They have intense accountability because they're seeing each other all day long.
Yeah.
And you have a visible tracking.
We do.
Okay.
Yeah, goals and actual for the day.
And a lot of people use on large teams, use the Vulcan7 leaderboard so that, and you can set it any way you want, where it'll track the number of contacts each person's making, and in real time, you can see who's ahead. Competition is, this time of year is the big problem, though. If we look at the thought, prospect at your highest level of intensity when you are buried with listings and pendings. Prospect at your highest level of intensity when you are buried with listings and pendings. And but nobody does. If you hit the month of June, and the public can't find a real estate agent.
And agents move into servicing what they have.
Stop looking for business. Yes. And the public is most willing. So, it's a huge point. How much lost by an average real estate agent every year by not following that rule?
Right. Yeah.
You've got to find a way. They've got to hire summer help.
Yeah.
Bring somebody temporarily. Answer my phone for me.
Right.
Do this, that, all the $20 an hour work. So I get $300 an hour work.
Yeah, because
too.
we need to be prospecting at all times. It's not, let's service this, service that. And myself, I don't have a team yet. I have a buyer's agent, but as far as hiring an assistant, it can be intimidating. What I did in the beginning was I just paid my TC a little extra money to do all the assistant work. It's so simple, it's not costing you anything out of pocket because they're getting paid at the close of escrow.
Right.
So you just got to find a way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I think we were going to talk a little bit about shadowing different agents. I don't know, Sarah, if you've done it, but I definitely did it. And it's a really amazing experience. I think if you can go shadow someone once a month, that is doing this regular calling and scheduling. It's so very helpful. I was lucky enough to shadow House Wazy. Oh my gosh, he runs his team like a tight ship. He was on the phone, making his calls, making his contacts exactly at 7:45. He takes his break at exactly 11 o'clock, gets right back on the phones. It's really, really interesting, great experience. I highly suggest anyone to do it. Yeah. Everyone to do it.
Absolutely.
So, and you're overdue. I don't know which.
I'm overdue.
Which one is on?
I'm overdue. Maybe I need to fly out there and go shadow with Sarah, I think.
Yeah, there you go. You are overdue for shadowing.
Yeah.
It's been a couple months that you've seen Hal. So.
I know. And you know what? It's such a great experience because it gives you that fire and excitement and encouragement and, things like that. And just seeing how their office is set up too, like their vision boards and things like that. It's really interesting. I like it.
How many more deals would you have, honestly, if you did this shadowed every month versus now and then? How many more?
Probably at least 3 more a month.
Why?
I think it's because you just use the copycat principle, right? And you just stay focused on getting on the phones every single morning at 8 a.m. because you see someone else doing it and you see the success they have. So then you see it is possible. It does work.
And your belief when you're watching somebody do it,
right.
you embrace the belief at a higher level.
Yeah. And it's not so scary. They're doing it and they're making money, tons of money. So it's possible. It works.
And they have the same awful people that you have.
Totally.
Right on.
Yeah.
What shyness doesn't count, folks. It's worth making a point. Shyness doesn't count. If you call somebody, reach out to an agent who's a top producer and you want to shadow them and they don't get back to you, it's not because they're rejecting you. It's because they barely noticed that you called because you have all this stuff going on.
Right.
Yeah.
And people would call me and I'm happy to have them shadow me, but sometimes I'm like, okay, I got to get these 82 items done and I never make it down to them. But if you keep persistent, I'll get on a live call and they're like, sure, come on out. How about Thursday? Sure. They're happy to do it. Folks.
They really are happy to do it.
As long as you're not in their market.
Yeah. You gotta do a little driving, but it's worth it. Like drive out the night before, have a little dinner, meet with them first thing in the morning, try to take them out to lunch, pick their brain even more, and then you're done. Fly or drive home.
Yeah, and at the end of a year, you have 12 great friends that are huge producers.
Yeah. And you never know, could be referral business as well.
That's a great point.
All right, so next week you're going to tell us who you're shadowing now.
I will. I promise. It's a deal, you guys. So, we were just talking about expireds, how you said, they're calling the same people and sometimes they can be really harsh on the phones because they're just sick of it. They're frustrated. Their home didn't sell. But now with the neighborhood search, it's such a friendly phone call.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of people, we've only had that, for 6 weeks, Vulcan7 neighborhood search.
Yeah. But the phone numbers are so good.
Darling of the industry and is a good value. Because Vulcan7 neighborhood search, frankly, it's expensive. But everybody answers the phone.
Right.
Yes. Everyone answers the phone. You can get a referral out of that. Maybe they will be selling in the future. Maybe their aunt is selling. Maybe their nephew. You never know. Right. And just the fact that someone answers.
Competing against 5 other agents.
Right.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Exactly. Like the expireds or FSBOs can be at times.
All right. Let's look at one other easy route. Old expireds. And, and if you don't have enough, folks, call us. We'll send you more. We'll find a way to get more old expireds to you because they are gold. You were talking about it earlier.
And the script is so easy right now. It is going, gosh, you guys were back on the market in 2013. Things are a lot easier right now. Would you have an interest in revisiting this idea if we could make this happen for you the next 30 to 45 days? It might take a minute or two for them to rewarm to the idea. But we're finding that if you're kind of looking at MLS right now, an awful lot of the new listings that are coming on, if you hit in that history button, are in fact expired when the market was a little softer. So.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think also, sometimes sellers, they're just a little tired. They're tired of having that lockbox on. They're tired of people trampling through their house. They're frustrated. So give them a couple months to breathe, relax, unwind, and then they'll try it again.
They will.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah, I could not agree more. And to your point, there's not 10 people that is necessarily reaching out to that particular 6, 7, 8 month old expired.
Yeah, I agree.
So it makes a big difference.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Previewing property. And people are like, how does previewing property help me sell anything? In a huge way. If you're newer to the business, if you will go preview property every day for an hour, hour and a half, you go look at a house, you look at another house, you look at another house, you really get, pick a part of town. If you do that every day, at the end of a month, 20 areas of town. And of course, while you're there, you need to knock 10 doors to the left, 10 to the right, 20 across the street. So there's 40 people you talk to. Now, what are you going to talk to them about? The house that you previewed. It's on the market.
Yep.
Who do you know that would like to move into our area?
Right. Yeah. Pick your neighbor.
It doesn't have to be your company or your listing or anything. They, and you think they'll care. They don't care. They, you're a real estate agent. You're trying to find a buyer for their neighborhood. I mean, you're paid a co-op to do that. You're paid to sell that house.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. They like the loyalty to the neighborhood. So it's a huge way if you're newer to the business, really get confidence, get a conversation going. And it's a nice, easy way to talk to enough people.
Yeah. And you know what, too? I think it builds your confidence when you are talking to expireds or for sale by owners, because you feel like you have knowledge, which makes you sound more confident, which really gives you confidence to really get that appointment and get that listing appointment and really nail it, Because if you're making calls and you're a little insecure or you don't really know what you're talking about, it shows through. People can hear that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. We found that people are so much friendlier when you're actually there in person. It's kind of like road rage. People ask cars the way they never would, like in public. And sometimes people on the phone maybe kind of hide behind the anonymity of the phone call. They're really friendly in person.
Yeah.
And we're finding we actually had 2 of our listings that we took last week came from door knocking.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
2.
And what's kind of like your thing that you say when you're door knocking? Do you have a go-to script?
It depends. What we've been doing is actually in our team, we're calling it circle prospecting for our buyers because our inventory is so thin right now. We genuinely, in many cases, have a buyer that is looking to purchase in a particular neighborhood. And it's very simple script. Hey, our buyer's very familiar with the inventory that's already available. And we're out here, kind of boots on the ground doing some legwork for them to find out who that may be interested in moving soon. And I'm just curious, who do you know that we should be having a conversation with in your neighborhood? And you'll find the Gladys Kravitz that will tell you everyone's laundry. You know what I mean? There's always one, and that's one. And in both cases, the properties that we listed were referred by another neighbor that said, hey, I hear so-and-so is considering moving.
That's wonderful. See?
Yeah.
And
it's a Monday through Friday job.
Right.
This is daytime, Monday through Friday. People think of real estate as nights and weekends.
Sure.
It's only if you make it that.
Right.
It's Monday through Friday daytime.
Right.
And that fits it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Nice out.
Now, speaking of that, if you have a reluctance around talking to people getting rejected, we're going to go to the easiest way in our business. And that's why it's there, folks. It's not there to sell the listing, as you know. The open house is the lowest level of rejection for a real estate agent. So that's why it's there. And but here's a way to make an open house make a lot of money. So if you're afraid to talk to people, approach them, and you want them to approach you, start out with open houses. Did this with one of your buyer agents 5 or 6 years ago over off of Heacon or something like that. It was a big house with a double lot. I don't know if you remember that one. It was a big split rail fence. So because she goes, well, I held that one open and only had 2 people come. I show you how you can have 40 or 50 people. And I said, meet me at 12:30. She goes, open house until 2. I said, I know. Meet me at 12:30. I had 45 signs loaded up. We split them. You take 20 some, I'll take 20 some. And we put them out, let off all the main roads, big signs with balloons on the main roads, little lead-ins, left and right turns. And we had dozens of people come in the door, dozens. And then we just asked the key questions.
Yeah.
How long have you been looking for a home? Have you seen any homes you're interested in? How soon do you need to be in your next home? Do you need to sell an existing property to buy the next? Have you spoken to a lender? What did they say? We'd go through all that list. And we would make everybody sign in. Name, phone, email. That's it.
Yep.
Not how did you hear of us? Not are you working with an agent?
Right.
Name, phone, email. Name, phone, email. Name,
yeah.
phone. If anybody left one blank, we put in a fake one.
Right.
So everybody came in and saw that list full. And then we never asked early on, hi, I'm Ren. Are you working with an agent? Yes. Who? Mary Smith.
Right.
You're making them lie to you.
Sure.
You're making them tell you a lie.
Yeah.
You'll find out if they're working with somebody just by asking a lot of questions.
That's exactly right.
Right.
Exactly right.
Don't make them lie.
Yeah.
everybody's working with somebody and everybody's not.
Right.
Yeah. And then we have to go back to remember pre-qualifying how important that is, right? Because we don't want to be spinning our wheels or wasting our time. So I think pre-qualifying buyers and sellers is so important in our industry. I don't want to waste going to a listing appointment, driving 20 minutes, preparing for it, sending my listing packet, all that stuff. If they have unrealistic expectations, they want, 100,000 more than what it's worth. They owe more than it's worth. You gotta really get those pre-quals down.
And with buyers and sellers, we need to ask questions and deeper questions. If they give you a surface answer, say, "Oh, great, tell me more about that."
Mm-hmm.
Get it? I mean, how many times do agents go, "Oh, buyers are liars"? Well, what happened? Well, I took her out 3 times, and then she told me her fiance. We looked at 30 homes. She picked one out, and then she goes, "I guess I'll get my fiance look at it."
Right.
Why wasn't the fiance looking before? Because I didn't ask. Are there any other decision makers? Exactly. Who else is involved in this thing? So we don't ask enough questions.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So
I agree with you.
We have to be a master at that.
The other thing that will come out of that is if you have someone that's reluctant to answer those questions with you, it'll give you a good sense of their seriousness about the process. Because if they're genuinely looking to have a real estate transaction, they're going to welcome someone who's taking the time to really do a thorough analysis up front, because they probably don't have any time to waste either.
Yeah.
So, and if they don't, that's a good red flag that perhaps this is not going to be where I'm not going to put all my eggs in this basket.
Yeah, and that's where call reluctance comes in. If we're talking to enough people, we can use the 4-letter word. Next. Yeah. So when you read somebody that's they're not ready,
right?
Next.
Yeah.
Because I'm talking to so many people.
Yeah.
Oh, there's somebody standing behind you that needs my help.
Yeah,
okay,
and we're not going to be able to make them ready.
Yeah. And so many people we'll get questions like that on here. How do I motivate my buyer?
We don't.
You can't.
Choose it.
Next. Next, go make more calls.
Yeah.
If somebody has to pick out something today, and we just haven't found them because you're not talking to enough people.
Exactly.
It goes back to having accountability and goals. How many contacts are you supposed to make every day, Carley?
My coach and I have been working on this, and my goal is 27 contacts a day. I had a little struggles with it last week, so I'm going to try to pick up Saturday mornings calling just for like an hour or 2 to try to get my numbers back up, mix it up a little bit. But my goal is 27, definitely.
Good.
So that, with the expireds, the for sale by owners, and the neighborhoods, especially if my time is running up, I want to hurry up and call neighborhoods because I know I can talk to people when I call neighborhoods. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
Absolutely. Good. Let's look at some questions. Let me see if we've got something on the some questions. Let's see. Oh, we got a few. Looks like we'll find out.
Your eyes are better than mine. I can't read.
I know.
I know. I'm squinting too. I'm like, what is this song?
Up here, we can hear it.
Mark is rocking on the phones by 8. Good for you.
How do your folks respond to getting calls that early? Curious. So you guys get on the phone at what, 8?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Fairly well. You're going to have two camps. You're going to have the folks that are completely irritated that you've reached out to them at all, and they cannot believe they are involved in a sales process. Sorry, your house is on the market. You're not going to probably be able to fix that whether you call at 8 or at 4 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
You'll have some other folks that you'll call, and you can genuinely tell that it's too early for them. And this is, my approach has been, I am so sorry. I tell you what, I'm going to give you a buzz back this afternoon. I don't ask, I just tell, and I'll call them back later. They will forget that they talked to me.
Yeah.
And then they're happy after they've had 4
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I haven't had any issues with starting calls at 8 a.m. No one has said, oh, it's too early or anything like that. I think
in your market, it's sunny at 6 a.m. too.
And
in the winter at 6 a.m. it's sunny.
Yeah, definitely. So I think also this question can kind of go back to mindset as well. You need to go into these calls with the attitude of, I'm here to help you. I'm going to help you. And not, oh, they're going to be annoyed with me when I call. You can't think like that.
Very true.
Good.
Yeah.
Art McGivern says, I have a hard time finding someone to practice scripts with. They either throw softballs or work inconsistently. Any recommendations? Script practice, if I believe on, and Art, if they don't, just email me. We have on Vulcan7 a list of different companies' role play sites where they trade role play partners. So you should be able to go there and thumb through and find a link that'll lead you to that.
Yeah. And I think it's important too to switch up your role play partners, because when you start to become friendly, that's not good, right?
Find somebody in your time zone that lives outside your market.
Right. Yeah. Agreed.
What are you doing to get more listings each week? A lot of the things we went over.
Calling.
Is it possible to hear a role play? How does your call flow sound? That's Bobby Gallegos. Carley.
Oh God.
You always are this. You're always the seller with the other. You should, let's do some practice. Huh? What do you got? Subscription.
All right. Who should I call? Sarah or Ren?
Sure. Why don't you call Ren? Ren's a pro at this.
Call me up.
Go easy on me, Kay.
All right.
All right. Hi. I was looking for Ren.
Speaking.
Hi, Ren. My name is Carley. I'm with Keller Williams. How are you today?
I'm doing great.
Good. Well, I'm calling because I'm sure you're well aware that your home is coming up on my computer as an expired listing. So I was just calling to reach out and see, when do you plan on interviewing the right agent for the job of actually getting your home sold?
I've had 9 calls, and as you know, I was listed with Chris Eller. I don't think there's anybody better in San Diego, is there?
Oh, you never know. That is a great question, but you'd have to see. Oh, I don't know. I'm all stuck. You get me nervous. Okay. If you did sell the home, where would you go next?
I'm going to Chicago.
Oh, you're going to Chicago. That's exciting. What's bringing you to Chicago?
Not enough wind here. I understand Chicago is a little windier.
Yeah, the Windy City. Well, that's exciting. And when do you have to be there?
Actually, I'm back and forth there now.
Okay. All right. So you really want to get moving quickly then?
Yeah, it's business. And so I'm always on a flight to Chicago.
Okay. Well, what do you think stopped your home from selling, Ren?
Oh, it's probably our fault. We want more than we think it's worth.
Oh, I understand. Well, do you currently have an agent, or do you have an agent you're working with now?
Yes, Chris Eller.
Okay. All right. How did you happen to pick that agent?
Well, I heard his ads on the radio.
Oh, okay. Radio ads. Okay. Well, what do you think he should have done to get your home sold?
Well, I don't know. I guess he probably shouldn't have let us list it for what we listed it for.
That can be tough. I mean, you need a really strong agent to help you. You need someone that will tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, right?
True.
Yeah. So what do you expect from the next agent that you choose to work with?
Well, the plan is just to stay with Chris Heller. That's why I told the other 8 agents to call.
Yeah, I totally appreciate where you're coming from, but I would really like the opportunity to interview for the job of selling your home.
Yeah.
Are you available tomorrow at 3 or Thursday at 4?
What do you do differently?
I would really love to walk you through that process. To do so, I'd really love to meet in person. So why don't we do it tomorrow at 4 o'clock?
4 o'clock? Okay. 4 o'clock. I've got it down. See you then. You know where I live.
I do. I know your address and everything.
There we go.
Yay. That was a little intimidating. Ren Jones.
There we go. All right. Well, I don't know. I think some of those sellers can be even more.
Oh yeah, they're tough. But I got flustered because it's you,
There you go.
That's hard. We talk about that in the morning a lot of times. It's it's easier almost to speak sometimes with someone that you don't know.
Definitely.
It is in some ways. Sometimes, because then you don't
It's
care.
more
Then
expensive if you mess up.
Then it's next.
Yeah. That was fun.
Why don't let's see.
Do we have any more questions?
Oh, we've got people in here writing to each other to role play.
That's good.
Let's see. Yeah.
Ren, what do you think about I remember you mentioned once to record a listing presentation, like do a role play and then record it.
Yeah, it's real important to record your listing. Have you recorded you've done that before?
Yeah.
Where you just set up your cell phone and record it and then watch yourself.
Mm-hmm. It was awful.
I mean, you learn so much still to this day. Mm-hmm. I showed you recording of my listing presentation.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
How was it?
I did a spoof one time.
Oh.
For fun, but because I'd been recording it. But I learned the first round, I learned my body mannerisms. Back then I was touching my forehead a lot. And I'm like, why do I touch my forehead all the time?
Interesting.
Start noticing things. It gives you feedback.
Yeah. I think it can be really helpful if you're me being from California, I used to say like a lot. Like every other word was like this, like this, like this. And you learn not to do that or say a lot, you know?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yes, indeed. So that can make a big difference. Let's see. They're going on and on and on about role play partners on here.
Well, good. Practice those scripts. And there's I really like the scripts with Vulcan7. It's easy to just print them up, practice them, internalize them, make it second nature so you don't fumble like I did in the beginning of the role play.
When they are internalized, it gives you the opportunity to really listen to what that person is then saying to you. And if you've got those questions kind of, loaded at the ready, then when they go off, they go rogue on you, it's easy to whip out the next question and bring them back, back on track, as opposed to feeling that you need to deal with that particular comment. And it's no, you just bring them back with your next question. And
that's what she did on that. And, she's fumbling around for a second there and notice she just went to the next question on the script. And everything was fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody even remembered what the last question was. They don't.
Yeah.
Just don't. So Stephen McPherson raises something that a lot of people feel. What do you do to overcome the fear of calling? I can talk to anyone in person, but cold calling kills me. Help. Talking to strangers on the phone bothers him a lot more than over the phone. I mean,
and in person,
face to face. So, how do you get past that?
For me, you just do it. That's it. Just do it. However miserable you think it is, just do it.
Well, you got to look at the whole process because it's the morning routine. Number one, at the same time every day. Role play at 7:30, on the phone at 8. The role play process, that all those routines pull you into it and force you to do it. And then you're doing it the next day, then the next day, then the next day, then the next day. So each day you improve 1%, a little bit further, a little bit stronger, a little bit further, a little bit stronger, a little bit further, a little bit stronger.
You definitely build your stamina for sure. And when my goal was 27 contacts, I was like, oh my God. So I had to start with, 10, and then I worked up to 15 a day. And then I got to 20 a day. You know what I mean? You have to build your stamina. And I think you're right, Ren. It's just doing it every single day, starting at 8 a.m., just making it a habit.
Yeah. And I think rewarding that habit and knowing that you are in fact looking for a no and a rejection, frankly, just as much as you're looking for a yes, because it's just a numbers game. And I love your idea of, Carley, just taking it and kind of building that muscle and just doing it each day, because you got to give yourself some wins. If you go out and say, oh my gosh, that's it, I'm going to role play for 30 minutes every day, and I'm going to prospect every day starting tonight for 4 hours a day, and you've not prospected consistently for 15 minutes a day ever, that jump is not likely to be super successful. And then you subconsciously have had a situation where you let yourself down and you don't have any equity, if you will, to build on that with. So give yourself something that's really achievable, reward yourself, enjoy the rest of your day, and go back and do it again a little bit more tomorrow.
That's it. Marvin makes a observation that after a little bit of time, real sellers will stop answering the phone.
Yes, they will.
They just hide out. You got to continue to call them throughout the day till you get an answer. Do you move on to the next day, or what do you do there? Of course, the magic answer is be one of the first ones calling.
Yeah, so that's actually as a magic answer. The other thing is, it's funny that he mentioned that, because I'll say to them, don't answer your phone anymore today. Because this sale, like, oh my gosh, what do I do to get my number off of this list? And I say, you know what I would do? I would stop answering my phone if I don't recognize the number. They're like, oh, that's a good idea. And then I call back tomorrow.
Smart. Cut down your competition.
It does. And that does work.
Put some brakes on that
works.
That works. Like, if you don't recognize the number, you can guarantee it's going to be an agent. Just don't call.
Okay. And to work around that. So now we have to give you the idea how to work around that, because you can't call everybody at 8 a.m.
No.
You're going to, you call all the best ones at 8, 8:15, 8:30, and then all of a sudden you turn around, it's 9:15. You want to call some people and they're not going to pick up. So what you do is get on your cell phone provider a cell phone with an area code of a major city 100 miles away.
That's a great idea.
It works.
Smart.
What happens is everybody knows 2 or 3 people in the major city 100 miles away. They go, oh, that's Susie. Hello. Oh, it's not Susie.
That's a great idea.
It works.
I'm totally doing
It works.
that.
I would make all my calls and I'd go over to the other cell phone after about an hour and work that one, and all the people that didn't answer start picking up.
Oh, that's
So
brilliant.
it works. It works very well.
It's a really good idea.
Yeah.
I
There you
know.
go.
Yeah.
Do that one.
Yeah, I will do that one. Yeah.
I'm doing that one too.
That's awesome.
We're getting more and more of the people lining up role play partners on here.
That's great. And don't forget to line up your accountability partners too. Even if it's just a quick text like, hey, I'm on my 5th contact and still going, you know?
Yep.
Or if you do affirmations in the morning, like, okay, I'm onto my morning affirmations, or even do affirmations with someone.
Yeah. It can feel a little lonely when you're by yourself out there. So I think it's great to have some connection of someone that you can actually have a safe place with.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, I just got kicked in the teeth, you know,
Yeah.
and they just give you a little encouragement to get right back out there. It's
Yeah.
you know, it's not, we're all doing the same thing.
Yeah. You have to find your own little tips and tricks to get past, you know, a rough phone call.
Absolutely.
So if it's shooting your friend a quick text or your role play partner a quick text, that's helpful. If it's going and doing 5 jumping jacks, do that, you know?
Yep. One of the guys I work with today took a quick walk around the block.
Yep.
Like, I just need to take a quick walk.
Yep.
Came back and he's on. Frankly, I think I heard him got an appointment like 3 calls after that.
There you go.
Yeah.
That'll
Gotta
work.
have the right attitude.
So makes a difference.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Andrew says, overcome the fear of the call. Simple. Go hungry. Look at your children and tell them, sorry, no new business today because I forgot to have business. I actually have to speak to people.
Yeah, it's a good one. One thing I would add to that call reluctance piece is there is nothing that says that the only calling you can do is to folks you don't know. So you can kind of get that process rolling with folks that you know you're going to have a good experience with.
Yeah.
Past clients that love you, sphere of influence that have been good referral
Yeah.
sources for you in the past. You can kind of slide that process in to get started.
Mhm.
People you know and the people you don't know. And it's interesting. I love calling people I didn't know. It was the people I know I didn't want to call.
Yeah, I kind of.
Everybody's different in that regard.
Mhm.
You can get your kids involved in a way to overcome that call reluctance too. You can just put a little goal on the board to say, we're going to go on vacation here. If mommy makes all her contacts, I'm going to write them down every day, then we're going to go here.
Mhm.
And they're going to ask you, did you make
Yeah.
all your contacts, make your 27 contacts, make it can drive the goal.
Yeah.
I mean, just get everybody involved. Accountability on the refrigerator. Whatever.
Yeah. Great idea.
Really good idea. It
Good.
really is.
Do you have any other questions?
Mervin says, I'm getting a 0 result from emails. Is there a subject heading or a tip to get email response from expired FSBOs? No.
Mm-mm. You have to call. Email's the easy way out.
Direct. You got to talk to them. You have to speak to them
Absolutely.
live or phone.
Yep.
Or phone. No. Okay, I mean, maybe one listing a year off of email if you did hundreds of millions of them.
Mhm.
Listing off email. Not, follow up with it, but not initially.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and that is one thing we do try to do when we have a call with an expired or for sale by owner or cancel. If we can't nail that appointment right there, boy, I'm looking for the email. I want to be able to keep in contact with them and turn them into a nurture, that I can then build that relationship with over time. Because my competition's going to drop off.
Yeah.
They all
Yeah.
are.
What's Sarah, when you do have a good phone call with someone, but you weren't able to set the appointment, what does your follow-up email look like?
The follow-up email will be very straightforward. It will say, Nancy, thank you again for spending a little bit of time sharing with me what you guys have on deck for your place over on Winding Way. I completely understand how exhausting this process is and that you need to take a step out of the ring for a while. As I suggested, I'll keep you in touch with what's going on in the marketplace, and certainly feel free to reach me if I can be of any assistance in the meantime. Something real generic.
Very straightforward.
Yeah, but it gives me
you're
the
doing
opportunity.
videos too.
Yeah,
And-
love the videos.
And that's built into Vulcan7
Yeah.
at no extra cost. We have Storyteller built it, so you can do email campaigns to your expireds and FSBOs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they get to feel a connection. with you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
They want to see your face. You got to get your face in front of people.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's that same idea. Get you out of the road rage category and put you into the nice people.
Yeah.
It's really weird, but
It is weird. It's kind of like those people that write mean Yelps.
mean.
You're
Yeah.
like, you're so mean. You wouldn't be that way in person.
Exactly. Right. Very much so.
I know.
Very much
Just
so.
cross that barrier, and all of
Yeah.
a sudden they're like, "Oh, she's a nice person."
Right. Absolutely.
Great. Well, this has been an exciting show. Hopefully, there's some good tips. I think if you take 3 or 4 of these ideas, you'll take an extra 2 listings a month. I know you will. And that's all we're going for here. If we can help you do that, then play this over and over. And take a few notes. If you're watching on Vulcan7 and you want to get involved with the Lead Gen Facebook group, over 50,000 people now, all about lead generation. Facebook.com/groups/got objections. And I want to thank Aaron Wittenstein, who runs the group. He does a lot of give back. He runs a little program called trajectorynow.com. And finally, if you're watching on Facebook and you're not involved with Vulcan7, make sure to sign up at vulcan7.com/leadgen for a special deal. And then, yes, we discovered on the last show.
This is so funny.
I know.
You are. What am I going to do with you?
Mint chocolate chip, Grater's mint chocolate chip. Only the mint chocolate chip helps with listing property. It's the only flavor. Not the black raspberry, none of that, not the peach and the none of those flavors. Those all help with your buying business. It's the mint chocolate chip. In the slower markets, if you're having trouble selling the house, dig a hole in the front yard, bury it upside down. Yes, it's a handy tool. This is your tool for selling homes.
That's so funny.
Great show, you guys. That was really fun. I hope a lot of people got some great information out of it, even just 1 or 2 tips.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah.
Appreciate it, Carley. We'll see in your town next week and a half from now, something like that.
Yeah.
At the Lab Codes event. So it'll be fun.
Very cool.
See you then.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks for being here. Watch it again. Again.